It's time to play the podcast. Doo-doo.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Wrestling Defenders, presented by Bpoint5 Gaming with your hosts. It's me, Alex Lopez, with me always my buddy Grant Levron.
Sir, I'm very tired today. I feel like I've traveled more than the CWC participants a little bit here, because I just got done with like a 6-mile hike and my ass is tired.
Yeah, guys like Kota Ibushi, or just fucking 6 miles, that's too much for him.
Yeah, totally. Or that one Iranian guy that for some reason's from Chicago, but he's representing Iran.
Alright, we're getting a bit ahead of ourselves. We have to tell them what's going on.
Oh yeah, that's right.
We're doing something a little different than the regular Wrestling Defenders that we're used to. We're doing the CWC, that's a Cruiserweight Classic from WWE on the WWE Network. Essentially what it is, if you don't know already, it's just WWE's taking a bunch of cruiserweights from all around the world, like Japan, China, India, Iran, even England, America, anywhere, and 32 of these guys, and put them in one tournament to crown the first Cruiserweight Heavyweight Champion.
Well, not the first. Just we can't let the last one be. We cannot let the last Cruiserweight champion be a leprechaun.
I don't think it's for the actual title itself, isn't it? Isn't it for just the trophy?
I pray it's for the actual title, because there's some guys in here that I would love to see on the main roster.
Like who? If I can, let me see if I can pull up that list real quick.
Yeah, because there were some that we saw the other night that I was just amazed by. Which, by the way, there's a lot of older talent in this bracket too. We found out.
Not too much older, I don't think.
Well, I mean, older in the sense of like knowledge from the WWE universe. Guys kind of like Tajiri. Like, I didn't know Tajiri was in this until he came out, and I was like, holy shit.
Dude, I knew Tajiri was in it when he first did that video with William Regal. When Tajiri was like, William Regal, remember we used to be a thing? He was like, oh, okay, here's this broom closet, go inside.
Yeah, totally. And also Brian Kendrick, or the Brian Kendrick, who, by the way, just so we know now, is one of my favorites to win the tournament. I know he's probably not gonna, but a boy can dream, and a boy can dream Paul London can come back, and they can be awesome again.
But he's gonna smile again and get fired again.
Ooh, true.
Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and make my prediction of, I believe in my heart that Kota Ibushi is going all the way with this one.
Yeah, I wasn't really about it whenever you told me your prediction, but then I saw his crowd response, and I saw how he was, and I saw how he performed, and I can actually really see that happening now. I want Brian Kendrick to win, but knowing that he's an older guy who's probably just there to elevate better talent, it's probably not going to happen.
True. So I'm gonna put it up on the screen so you guys can see the bracket right now. It's a pretty big bracket. 32 guys. There's
Yeah, seriously.
we were gonna do this a weekly thing, episode 1 and 2, but I was out of town for episode 1. So today we're doing episode 1 and 2
How
of the Cruiserweight.
dare you see your family?
How dare I become a godfather to a 3-month-old?
Yeah,
how dare I?
How dare you do positive things in your life instead of focusing on wrestling? This podcast that like no wrestling fans listen to.
We have fans that listen to it.
Okay, we have wrestling fans, but I've had many people contact me personally or comment on videos like, "Oh, I watched Wrestling Defenders," and I'm like, "Oh, are you a wrestling fan?" No.
See, but that's the point of the podcast, Grant.
We're
we
reaching
get them
out
into.
there. We're getting people into wrestling. We got one of our friends back into wrestling, which I was very surprised.
You're welcome, Vince. We're earning you money.
Yeah, Vince, we got people at your doorstep wanting to buy that sweet, muscly product.
We're virtually promoting your product.
Yeah,
at this point.
Yeah. By the way, if you want to shoot us some sponsor money, I will totally buy a camera and we can do this live.
I will sell out like a motherfucker.
I'm willing to sell myself. I want to sell myself like Seth Rollins did at his heel turn.
Dude, I will show my dick like Seth Rollins and get a fucking world title run. And I will sell out hardcore for you.
He's the first guy to get in trouble like that and actually get it. Well, he didn't get caught with weed, so by WWE standards, like everything else is like, whatever.
It was just his dick.
Yeah, just his dick. It was a fine penis.
Anyway, Cruiserweights.
So I've been told.
I've seen it. I'm not afraid to say that. I'll put it up on the screen. I'm not putting it up on the screen.
I also saw Paige's tit too.
Everyone's seen Paige's tit.
True.
Were you looking for it?
So anyway, the brackets.
All right, sure. Okay. So for the first episode of CWC, round 1 with a 20-minute time limit. What's also, you brought up a point when we were watching it, was I wonder what's going to happen when they go up to the 20-minute time limit.
Yeah, I can.
Is that going to be really enforced in this tournament?
I could definitely see. See, here's the thing. With 32 men, they're not just going to call one guy up, because I can imagine the winner of this being called up to at least NXT. Mm-hmm. And out of 32 men, if you only find one guy you want or one guy you want to promote, that, in my mind, is a failed tournament. Because the thing about these tournaments is that they're meant for people to go out and see this fresher talent. Like, I've met a lot of guys, I've not met them because God knows I don't have the money to buy these tickets, but I've been exposed to a lot better talent. Like Kenneth Johnson. Kenneth Johnson surprised me in his first round match first of all, I had no idea who this dude was. I thought he was going to get squashed like a motherfucker. The next thing you know, I'm like one of his new biggest fans. But what I'm predicting is something like this. The final or one of the semifinal matches is going to go to the time limit, and then it's going to continue on to NXT. Because Triple H is going to be like, well, we can't continue the tournament, but you guys can go on to NXT and solve this.
See, we were talking about this, like, when I said, like, I think the further the tournament is going to go, the bigger the stage is going to be. And I'm not saying, like, okay, it's going to be, like, CWC Arena, then NXT, and then Raw. I meant, like, the stage, like, the CWC stage is going to get, like, bigger, 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 and bigger.
I would love for them to do the final actually at a pay-per-view.
Like, at, like, a WWE pay-per-view? Or make the CWC its own thing?
No, like, at an actual pay-per-view. Like, let's see, 10 weeks. So SummerSlam would already happen. Battleground would already happen. What's after SummerSlam?
I don't know, 10 weeks. What is after SummerSlam? They always change it, don't they?
Yeah, they always change it. Write down in the comments how stupid we are that we don't know what's after SummerSlam. But anyway, I can imagine them solving it after that.
I like how we have, like, 3 devices in this room alone where we can determine what's after SummerSlam, and I don't think I'm going to use it.
Well,
I mean, I could. I just really don't want to. I'm too lazy.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and plus, I got a text from my mom saying that something's lit. So,
is it her party life, or is she cooking something?
I think she's cooking something, or both. I don't know. Anyway, back to the tournament.
If your mom's getting dank, bring me into that shit.
The dankness is real on the podcast, guys.
The dankness is real.
The dankness is always real.
Okay, so first episode, round 1 of the Cruiserweight Classic. From Mexico, we got Gran Metalik versus Alejandro Saez, or Size.
It's Gran Metalik.
It's Gran Metalik. I'm sorry,
Gran Metalik. How am I white as shit, but I still pronounce stuff better than you?
I'm from Chicago. There's no Mexicans in Chicago.
Well, I can't really say anything to that since I've never been northern of, like, the midline of America.
That's unfortunate.
It is.
Gran Metalik representing Mexico, and Alejandro Saez from Chile. I was actually really looking forward to this because I like Lucha Libre style, and I was looking forward to these. Like, I think all these matches are going to be done well because they have at least a week in between to work on them. At least, like, I don't know about the tapings.
Yeah, and this match surprised me so much. I was thinking some of these first round matches would be just squash matches or whatever, but this match really got me in the mood to watch this tournament. Because whenever you said you wanted to cover it, I was very much like, you know what, let's see how it goes. I love the Cruiserweight style, but let's see what happens. But what this entire tournament has shown me, like, just personally as a wrestling fan, is that cruiserweights have so much versatility in their movement and their fighting style, and that's what I saw in this first match.
Yeah. Like I was talking to you earlier about it's easier to talk shit about bad matches than it is to sing the praises of something done well.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, I said before, like, at worst, the episodes we saw was good.
Yeah, definitely.
Everything was good, really good, or great.
Yeah, because it's easy to shit on something. It's easy to do a 2-hour podcast about stuff that's bad. Like, in general, no matter what it is, it could be wrestling, it could be, like, comic books, it could be whatever. Like, you could do a 2-hour podcast about how Mean Girls was either good or bad, but you can't just be like, it was all right. Like, it was solid.
Yeah, it's good. What do you want me to say? Well, Gran Metalik won. I'm going to be totally honest. I kind of saw that coming because the guy, Alejandro Saez, he was the one that, at the first weigh-in, he weighed 230 pounds.
And he dropped 30 pounds.
Around
right?
25 or 30 pounds in 2 weeks. Pounds.
By the way, Signs oversells HBK style. He was like a rag doll all over that ring the entire match.
Well, I mean, Lucha Libre is a really flashy style.
True.
You don't really see too much coming out of, like, Chile. So what could you say about a Chile style? You know what I mean?
I really can't say anything.
Exactly. You know the Japanese style. You can understand, like, the European style, Lucha Libre style. But, like, Chile, like, what is that?
Yeah. Also, Signs look... I'm not going to lie. Like, I'm not the guy to say, like, guys should look a certain way whenever they wrestle. I'm not Vincent McMahon. I didn't see Bobby Lashley and, like, have a stroke. But... Signs, you look kind of sickly, man. Like, I understand you wanted to be in the tournament and you had to drop 30 pounds to be a part of it. But, like, eat something, bro. You didn't look good. Like, you didn't look healthy.
I didn't want to say that, but he did look a little lanky,
Yeah.
you know. But if he's good at what he does, I guess. But it's unfortunate that he had to lose so much in so little time.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty unhealthy.
And also another highlight that I liked from the match was Grand Metalik's, was it like an inverted muscle buster? It looked like it hurt like a son of a bitch, but that was a great move.
I'm trying to think of the because we watched it last night, and like I said before, I have the memory of a goldfish.
Yeah, same.
So I wanted to rewatch this earlier, but then I forgot. If I'm gonna be totally honest, I totally just forgot. So anyway, so Grand Metalik won. Moving on, we have Ho Ho Lun from Hong Kong, China, and Arya Davari from Iran. The brother of Davari, the guy who managed the Great Khali for a while.
Mm-hmm. Which you figured he'd be a little bit more over since WWE kind of likes to keep it within the family in a sort of way.
A little bit, but I was actually really surprised. I'm just gonna skip ahead. Say that Ho Ho Lun won because I feel like it was weird that he was playing heel. I don't think people played heel.
It's very strange to see who's playing heel and who's playing face in this tournament.
I didn't think the heel face would be a dynamic thing in this tournament.
I could see it happening like when there's down to 8 or 16 or something like that.
Yeah, there were 32 guys. I don't know. It was just for me. I felt like heel face isn't really wouldn't have a place in a tournament like this one. If it was like a Gold Rush and the main roster, yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah.
But in something like this, I don't know. But if like okay, he's a heel, he's gonna win because if they're gonna do heels, we might as well have heels and later on. But no, Ho Ho Lun won, which was really surprising, especially if he was related to a prior wrestler.
Yeah, and for some reason I have written down that Ho Ho loves kicks. Ho Ho really loves his kicks, man.
They like them kicks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to be stereotypical, but these Asian fellas, boy, do they love kicking.
Well, are they like Shane McMahon's kicks? Because I like those kicks.
Shut up. Moving on to Clement Pateau, is that how you say it? Pateau, the French fella.
Pateau,
Clement Pateau. You're just being racist at this point.
I'm French Canadian. How is this racist?
I didn't factor in that. Yes.
I am pretty much Chris Benoit. Actually,
Don't go there.
yeah, no, I'm not going there.
Look it up.
So much heat on the podcast right now.
Too much heat in this room. Even Jesus, hot
Yeah.
shit in this room.
Yeah, damn.
And plus I'm wearing 2 layers again. Nothing I can do about
Chris,
that.
why do you keep doing that?
I like layers. I'm like an onion. Call me Shrek. I'm layered, motherfucker. Layered.
Is this Cedric? What's his face's swamp now from the match? Cedric Alexander.
Cedric Alexander from Charlotte, North Carolina, facing Clement Pateau.
By the way, his southern accent was weirdly strong.
Cedric?
Yeah, it was like weirdly strong. And you know what's funny is I remember I was watching this with you, and I called for Cedric to win, and you were like, "Oh no, man, the Frenchman's gonna win." But then like after we started, I got really worried, like super worried, because Pateau had this entire match like in his control pretty much for the majority of it.
Yeah, but I think around this time is when I had the thought of like root for every American, every person who's not from America, boo them. Even though this is a tournament,
most of them are from America.
No.
Most of them are from America. They've lived in this country for like X amount of years.
Prove it.
They're not like, well, because like Signs, for example, said he's from fucking Chicago.
That wasn't size.
It was somebody.
It was Mustafa Ali.
Which we'll talk about later. But yes, yeah, Mustafa Ali. Like some of these guys have lived in the U.S. before, and they lived in the U.S. in like X amount of years, but like just because of their race, they're presenting that country. But whatever.
I will say this, Grant. No matter where we're from, we're all humans.
True. Hashtag Team Humanity.
Hashtag Team Harmony. Anyway, Cedric Alexander won, which honestly I guess surprised me. I think I referenced like he's very Apollo Crews-esque.
Yeah.
Is Cedric Alexander. So I think if they were gonna call anyone up from this tournament, you think he'd be one of them?
Oh my god.
Or do you think because they already have an Apollo Crews?
Put me on WWE Creative. I just thought of the best tag team with him and Apollo Crews.
What would you call it?
So change his last name to Crews. Say he's Cruz's brother.
Cedric Crews?
Yeah. Cedric Crews and Apollo Crews. They're Cruise Control. That's the tag team name.
I'm moving on because you are 3 jokes away from being cut off from this podcast.
Put me on the creative team, god damn it.
Cruise Control. God, Vince would love you.
I know, right? That's why I'd be perfect.
God, you're so smart. And then for the final of this episode, we have Kota Ibushi representing Japan versus Sean Maluda representing American Samoa. Sean Maluda is very interesting because he is, I guess, the cousin of Roman Reigns, also the cousin of The Rock, also the cousin of Nia Jax, also the cousin of the Usos.
But you know what's funny is whenever they brought this up, they were like, "Oh, Usos and Roman Reigns," but they didn't mention Nia Jax or The Rock.
No.
They showed a clip of The Rock, but they didn't mention him.
He's the son of Alpha, I think?
Yeah, Alpha. One
of the Wild Samoans.
Which, by the way, you would have figured he's like, he's for sure going over.
Yeah.
He's definitely going to go over.
I mean, look at his hair.
Yeah, definitely.
Remind me of Xavier Woods going on.
And those tights.
I actually didn't mind his
those tights
vinegar.
with the fringes. I'm not gonna lie, I love those tights.
They was actually really cool tights. I wish I could steal them. They probably wouldn't fit me because I'm gross as shit, but he's muscular. Maybe.
We'll
see. I'm gonna
possibly. We'll find that out.
If they go missing, you know exactly where they are at the Bpoint5 podcast. So anyway, I wasn't surprised that Kota Ibushi won because, like I said, he's going all the way. He's my guy.
Yeah, definitely.
But how ashamed do the Samoans feel having a cruiserweight in the family? Do you think it was like a 300 situation? He was deformed, they almost threw him off a rock, but his mother saved him.
I kind of feel like his mom tried to keep shoving spam and eggs down his throat. I'm sorry, that's a horrible stereotype.
That's really a bad stereotype.
I have a friend
What are you,
from
Adam
Hawaii.
Sandler?
I have a friend from Hawaii, and he says straight up that he loves spam and eggs. So I'm using that.
Dude, I don't want to get our podcast flagged for bullying, but we're getting pretty close to that.
Wait. You understand the stuff we talked about before, right? Now it gets flagged.
We're getting
now it gets flagged.
They just stopped listening, dude.
God,
I can talk about whatever the fuck I want.
Sweet. So, guys, I want to talk to you about our Lord and Jesus, our Savior Cthulhu here.
Cthulhu Jesus, Cyber Jesus.
Cyber Jesus.
That's an in joke.
After this, go watch Fateful Findings.
That's it. That's our shameless plug. So Maluda tried to do a dive, which I said it's very reminiscent of hitting every branch on the tree when you're falling down, because he was doing a dive from the second rope. It's really I'm trying really hard to explain this. He went from one side of the ring to the other, jumped on the second rope to do a dive, but he hit the rope, another rope, the apron, and then the opponent.
See, that's what I was thinking, was that he was flipping along the ropes to land on the apron and then to do maybe a Hurricane Rana situation, but he literally just hit everything before he hit Ibushi, and he is a saint for selling that.
Yeah.
He is a saint.
Anyway, so I think that's really the only highlight. It was a good match. Like I said before, it's hard to talk about matches that are really good.
Yeah.
Because it's just it was good. Go watch it. What do you expect me to say?
Yeah, really. By the way, that huge Pele kick from the top rope by Ibushi.
Oh, that was fucking gold.
Amazing.
That was gold. I'm really looking forward to seeing more of him
in
the future. And then we're moving on to episode 2. Same round 1, 20-minute time limit rules. First, we have Tajiri representing Japan versus Damian Slater representing Australia.
I didn't know Tajiri wrestled anymore, frankly.
Dude, he looks good.
Yeah, he looks
really good.
He looks good when, Scott Hall looks like a big bag of oranges that's been smashed.
He looks better than what he used to, man.
True.
Scott Hall.
Well, then also he stopped drinking. Scott Hall, tweet at us. What up?
Hey, yo. See, I did your catchphrase. You have to tweet at us.
Hey, yo.
At Bpoint5 Gaming on Twitter.
I'm doing the raise your hands right now. The whole flicking raise your hands. I can go and I can go badly slick back my hair for you.
How did we go from talking about cruiserweights to talking about one of the biggest men in wrestling?
I don't know. WWE. Somehow this shit happens.
I don't know. I was really surprised that Tajiri won. I really thought they were going to go with Damian Slater, the guy who has something to prove. He was new.
Yeah, and also shout out to Amy and Bella, our Aussie friends. Sorry your guy didn't make it far in the tournament.
Yeah.
Even though you probably weren't caring.
Yeah,
or
you
watching.
Don't even care. You're not even watching this.
Exactly. You're probably not even listening.
Jerks. Watch our podcast.
Watch it. Listen. Look at our beautiful faces on the screen.
Watch it. Listen to it. Smell it. Taste it.
Savor it. It's like a fine wine. Spit it out. Don't swallow it.
It's nothing like fucking... What is that really gross butter that they like?
You mean Vegemite? That's not
Vegemite.
That's not butter. That's vegetable paste.
Yeah.
That's a yeast spread.
It's disgusting. I don't give a fuck what it is.
Yeast. How the fuck did we go from talking about Tajiri to Vegemite?
Australians.
Jesus Christ.
Anyway, I thought Damian Slater was gonna win. I like this guy a lot in this match. I hope that he sticks around, developmental for a while. Moving on, we have TJ Perkins from the Philippines representing your guy,
Teknoake.
Teknoake
is now one of my new favorite wrestlers. I don't give a shit about how this entire thing. He's got this weird Michael Jackson gimmick, and I love it. I love that his name is Teknoake, not the Mac. Teknoake. I actually have a friend in Germany, and I asked him on a whim because I know he liked WWE as a kid, and I was like, hey, have you heard of the Mac? And he's like, oh, I've heard of the Mac, and I'm like, we all love the Mac.
The Mac.
Also, his hair is amazing, and his name's fun to say.
And he moonwalked.
And he moonwalked on the apron.
How many guys do you know moonwalk? In the ring!
TJ should have just taken the pin right there. JK LOL.
Him and Carmella should start a tag team, the Moonwalkers.
Oh my god. No, he should join Enzo and Cass and be their German translator for some fucking reason.
Get him on the main roster right now.
Now, give him a 5-year deal.
Anyway, the Mac lost.
Yeah, the Mac lost, by the way. I mean, TJ did some cool stuff. This is kind of where I stopped taking notes.
Because you're so into the wrestling.
The wrestling.
As our friend John says, wrestling.
Wrestling.
Shout out to both Johns who listen to the podcast.
Shout out to John. What up?
John. Like I said, TJ Perkins was another guy that he was apparently really well known.
Yeah.
Was he the guy who had the really awesome Seth Rollins like ring gear?
I believe so, yes. They had somebody in the ring who had like this cool mashup of AJ Styles tights with Seth Rollins like sleeveless shirt, and it was like the best thing I've seen.
I think that's either him or Mustafa Ali. I'm gonna find out right now.
I think it's Mustafa Ali.
Talk about something real quick.
So guys, I want to talk to you today about a very serious topic about the world state here. You see, one time I did
You
peyote.
fucking look up Mustafa Ali and you come up with like this really old ass dude.
He definitely was not in the tournament.
No.
Yeah,
it was Mustafa Ali.
Yeah,
okay.
It was Mustafa Ali. I think. You know what though? TJ had some really fresh Nike kicks. I will say that.
What's with you and kicks?
Look, Shane McMahon came back and I got better in the shoes. He's got some fly shoes. He had custom SmackDown shoes for the draft.
That much is true.
This is true.
Okay, so he was not the one with the kick with the sick ring gear. But like I said, I'm looking. God, I was telling you before, this tournament is really fucking exciting because it's new. We haven't. When I started watching wrestling in 2009, you started watching around 2008, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't even conceive that something like this could happen.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I was sad when the cruiserweight weight division went away because, frankly, I'm sorry. The whole feud between Chavo and Hornswoggle, like, that ruined it. It made it a joke. But now that I see this come back, and now that I see that Triple H, a guy who used to bury people like this when he was professionally wrestling all the time, but to see something like this come out of the NXT brand, because it is at Full Sail. You know it's from Full Sail. They just moved the entrance ramp.
They moved it a little bit over.
Yeah, like a little, like 5 degrees to the left.
Yeah. So, I'm sorry your guy lost. Maybe
know,
we'll see him again
happens.
in the future. Do you think?
I think so. I kind of think with this tournament, some guys are definitely working with other promotions. Like one of the guys are working with WCPW, What Culture's new brand. Mm-hmm. I know one of them's working with them. So I mean, if you look and you do your research and you really want it to be spoiled, you could probably figure out like who the final competitors are going to be, because some people do have contracts with other companies.
Yeah. Moving on, we have Mustafa Ali representing Pakistan, even though he's from Chicago.
Yeah, and he's it angers me that
versus Lince Dorado from Puerto Rico. Was he the one with the really, really bad mask?
Yeah, with like the tiger teeth hanging down for some reason.
He looked like it looked like a doofus. Like he should be talking like,
"Hey guys, I'm gonna wrestle today.
I'm gonna wrestle. I'm gonna winch.
I'm gonna mess you up, Ali."
Anyway, because Mustafa Ali is brown, he was the heel.
Of course.
Anyway,
but I want his ring gear. I want to wear that every day. I want to wear that bad leather shirt with the abs drawn on it and that sick ass logo on the side of his tights.
Sometimes I'm a bit of a hypocrite. Sometimes I'm like, it doesn't matter what they look like. It's all about their wrestling. If they're good, if they can connect with people.
The fuck it does. Sometimes.
But I will say in this match, I wanted Mustafa to win because one, he's from Chicago, and two, he has awesome ring gear, and Lince had really shitty ring gear.
Also, think of it like this. Think of Kane. Kane, very early Kane was awesome, right? Mm-hmm. What happened after he took the mask off?
He became a dad.
Yeah, he became Dad Corporate Kane for some reason with slacks.
But Lince won, much to my chagrin. Again, like if they're doing a heel thing, do you think in the next, because they have to do there's 8 more matches after the last one we get to in a bit for the first round. Do you think there can be any more heels going in through that?
There's got to be some. There has to be some. Because I could see them going more into characters as the weeks go on. But it's hard to do that with 32 men. With 32 men, you can't get to know everybody.
No. Anyway, moving on for the final of episode 2, we have Akira Tozawa representing Japan versus Kenneth Johnson from Detroit, Michigan, representing the USA.
I have to say, in this match, like, I was figuring Tozawa was just gonna mull over Kenneth Johnson. That was my first premonition, because the ring gear he has, kind of like we said, going back to ring gear, the ring gear he had, he just looked like he woke up.
In the promo, look at the fighting promo, like looked like Street Fighter.
Yeah,
he had like this red Shinsuke like pajama things, pajama bottoms.
And I saw that, and I'm like, well, this guy's not going over. He can't even afford good ring gear. Then I saw his actual ring gear, like, in the ring, and he had, like, these cool white pants with, like, flares and shit. It was cool.
Yeah, and going back to Alejandro's size, he almost, like, very similar in the tall lankiness, because he was, what, 6'1"?
Yeah, and
I believe.
Yeah, and to have some reference here for people who know me outside of this wonderful podcast we do, or can find me at Instagram at thisguy123. I'm a bit of a taller guy, but I have a little bit more meat on my bones.
Yeah, Kenneth was, what was he, like 195 or 200?
He was 195 and 6'1", so he's a stick.
That's virtually a tree. But this match was way better than I thought it was going to be, and that's my own fault.
Yeah.
I didn't really take into the idea of, this is the Cruiserweight Classic. Even though it's the first one, they've been promoting, like, we found the 32 best guys from all over the world. If that dude looks the way he does, but is still in the tournament, he has to be good.
Yeah, seriously.
But I didn't take that into account.
But I do personally have to say this. Like, as wrestling fans, many times we, like, oversee a guy and we're like, oh, well, he's not going to be a good wrestler. I have to say I was proven wrong with this match. Kenneth Johnson has a fan out of me now. I want to see him do well, even if it isn't with the WWE. Fuck it. It could be with TNA. It could be with New Japan. It could be with Ring of Honor. He has a fan out of me, and I know after that performance he put on, it's going to be a great career for him in the future.
Afterwards, you're going to look him up, see if he's doing anything?
Yeah, totally.
I'm down. Akira Tozawa was someone that was also new to me.
Yeah,
that I became also a really huge fan with, because they were doing this forearm spot. It looked a lot like the forearm spot Sami Zayn and Shinsuke did at London. They were doing that back and forth, and then he just randomly just punched him. I know that doesn't sound cool, but in the context of it and in the vacuum, it was really fucking cool to see.
Oh yeah, definitely.
It was like almost like I keep going back. It's like a fighting game. The way they present the entire tournament, these fighters, it's like a fighting game.
It's taken very seriously too. Like if you watch SummerSlam, WrestleMania, whatever, there's none of the okay, gentlemen, I've shown you your instructions. There's no patting down. And in this tournament, there's a lot of that, and I like that because it treats it more legitimately.
Yeah. And the punching after the forearm spot was almost like a combo breaker.
Fatality. Midway through the match.
Was he the one? Yeah, okay. He was the dude who did the oh my god, what was it? It was like this crazy insane spot that almost freaked me the fuck out.
It was a gigantic suplex to where it looked like Kenneth Johnson.
Oh my god, that's right,
on
that
his
German
fucking neck.
Just randomly, just fucking like they're doing something, then like he just fucking almost like a snap German.
Yeah. By the way, isn't it ironic that the Mac is the only German that's been in the tournament so far, and he did no German suplex?
I don't know, it's a little stereotypical, like almost like you wanted who's that fellow from Iran? Let me go back. Arya Davari to do a fucking camel clutch.
Well, then again, the camel clutch isn't Iranian. It is technically of Mexican descent because Eddie Guerrero's father created the move. Fun fact, the more you know. There should be like a star wipe after that.
I'm not doing a star wipe.
Damn it.
You don't tell Alex what to edit. You know what? We'll see. We'll see how I'm feeling a little later. I might edit in.
Then you don't tell me how to promote.
Do you want to get views? I think there's a difference between like not wanting to do a star wipe.
I do want to get views. Guys, hashtag Alex and Grant for NXT commentary. I would love for me and this guy to move on and to actually become a commentary team. That would be hashtag goals.
If you have a shitty independent backyard wrestling promotion at your house, we will do commentary.
We will totally do commentary. I will. One of us is gonna have to be the color, and one of us is gonna have to be the savory.
The more technical guy.
More technical guys.
Well, I'm colored. I'm a colored fella.
Well, but at the same time, I've turned heel on you several times on this podcast.
You keep trying.
I keep trying. I'm kind of like John Cena. Like I'm like,
no, you know what you are? No. We're the Bunny and Adam Rose. We keep trying to break up, but it's not happening.
Yeah, no, we're very emotionally abusive relationship. Like we don't hate each other and we don't talk shit to each other, but like we just can't stay mad.
No, who's the Bunny in the situation?
I've done way more drugs than you.
True. So you be Adam Rose.
Just kidding. I have never done drugs a day in my life to any DEA DA agents that could possibly be listening. I'm a
Or
good
any
Christian.
DADs, any dads out there.
Or to my father. Hi, father. I've never done drugs.
If my dad's listening to you, where the fuck are you?
You know what's weird? The other day, like sidetrack here, someone straight up asked me if I did heroin, and that's like literally the weirdest question I've ever done.
Going into heroin, let's talk about Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns a little later on. We'll do the podcast next week.
I have so much to say about this.
Bottle it up.
I am
Use
so
that Stone Cold.
angry. I was in Walgreens. I have a rock star in my hand, by the way, because 6-hour hike make Grant very tired. Grant wants to talk about Brock because Brock pissed Grant off.
We will talk about him next week when we do the Battleground edition of Wrestling Defenders.
Sounds good to me.
So next week, what are we gonna? Are we doing this weekly thing?
Yeah, totally. I'm
Each
down.
week we'll watch an episode. It's gonna be a lot shorter than this, maybe 15 minutes at most.
Yeah, definitely.
Each episode a week, in between our monthly podcast. So you're welcome, Earth.
Yeah, Earth. And by the way, guys, if you do like our podcast, please like, share, leave a comment, subscribe to Bpoint5 Gaming. Fuck it, don't even subscribe to any other channels. Like, subscribe to us, because unlike the Brian Zanes, unlike the whole effing show, unlike Wrestle Talk, we actually keep shit fresh.
Are you trying to fucking start a flame war with 4 different fucking podcasts at once?
Yes, let's
Why?
do it.
We don't need this fucking heat.
I am the advocate to the man himself from Bpoint5 Gaming, Alex.
Hi.
And I am here to tell you that he is the mayor of Podcast City, and he will be the only mayor of Podcast City until Podcast City is in rubble and on the ground.
You happy with that?
I'm actually very happy with that. Thank you.
I like that. All right, everyone. We'll see you again next week. Thanks for listening. Stay tuned. Bye, guys.
Thank you guys so much. Goodbye.